Welcome Cybertruck fans, Brian here from T-Sportline coming to you from our headquarters in Atlanta, and today we're going to do some testing of the T-Sportline 50-inch LED high output light, off-road light for the Cybertruck. Not only are we going to test our high output LED light, but we're going to compare it to the factory Tesla LED light that's an option for Cyberbeast. So we're going to do head-to-head comparison, ours versus theirs. A few things we'll do. One, we're going to measure the light output, and we're going to use lux, which is lumens per square meter at about 30 feet on the wall. It's a good way to measure the total output and the intensity in the brightest point of this beam pattern that we've got shot down there. You're going to see the deer picture on the wall, and this is emulating us off-road at night. We'll measure it with the T-Sportline light, then we'll swap over to the factory Tesla LED rooftop light. We'll measure the lux between the two, and we'll go from there. Then we're going to measure the power consumption. So we're going to see what kind of power we consume with the T-Sportline light, how much power the factory Lightbar consumes, and we can compare the two. And finally, we're going to go outside at night and get some shots with the T-Sportline Lightbar in the woods. All right, let's get started with this. The T-Sportline Lightbar is installed and shining on the wall. I've got our lux meter. We've got it set at a 10x, so it's going to say something in the hundreds. Multiply that by 10. Let's go. We're 30 feet out to the wall, so let's go see if we can find the hot spot. So with the meter out here, we're going to move around and you're going to see the readings change. So 465, 468. So almost right around 470 is our peak. That would be 4,700 lumens. You can see as we move away from the hot spot, lumens are going to drop. But I'm going to call this 469, 470. That's our peak. Let's go ahead and swap over to the Tesla factory Lightbar, and we'll come back and measure the same thing. I've got my Fluke clamp-on amp meter. We're going to put this on the power feed for the T-Sportline Lightbar, measure the power consumption. Just clamped it on the power feed, and I'm just under 5 amps of draw. That's 5 amps at 48 volts, so about 250 watts. Next up, Tesla Cyberbeast Lightbar. We're going to set this up, plug it in, do the lux measurements, do the power output, and see where we land. Now the Tesla Lightbar is installed, and I'm going to turn it on here. We're going to add a third element to this test, which is just the visibility you're going to see against the wall. Massive difference between the T-Sportline Lightbar and the Tesla factory Lightbar. We'll turn on ditch lights, or you can turn on floodlights. We'll put them both on to try to get the max output. You can take a look at the wall now. I'm going to go out there and measure lux, but right away you're going to see it's a lot less bright. All right, let's check it out. So once again, I've got the lux meter out here, and you're gonna see, I'm talking 67, this is fairly low output. Remember, we were at 4,700 with the T-Sportline Lightbar. This is coming in at 67 was the peak that I saw. And I can tell just by looking at the wall here, this is a lot less bright. I can look directly in that. It's not that bright. Let's get into measuring the power output like we did with the T-Sportline. I'm gonna tell you though, by how low that light output looks out there, this is gonna be a lot less power consumption. We'll check this out. So I'm getting a little under 1 amp of draw. Let's call it 0.9. So 0.9 times 48 volts, you're a little bit under 50 watts of power. It was almost 250 from T-Sportline, and this is only 50 watts. We're gonna do some back-to-back comparisons. I'm gonna unplug the Tesla Lightbar while we're pointing the camera at the wall, and then plug in the T-Sportline so you can actually see the difference. The lux meter blows it away, and the power meter just backs up that yes, you're getting a ton more light with the T-Sportline Lightbar. We're looking at the Tesla Lightbar output here. I'm gonna unplug it right now. And then we're going to plug back in the T-Sportline light bar and reset the center screen, turn it back on. Wow. Night and day difference, literally. Amazing difference. That's enough of the in the shop measurements. Next up, we're going off-road right now in the dark, in the woods, and we'll see how this looks. Okay, here we go. OEM light bar. Now the T-Sportline light bar. OEM light bar, T-Sportline light bar, wow. Factory headlights only. Here's the OEM light bar with the factory headlights. Headlights only. And the T-Sportline light bar with factory headlights. This is amazing. Headlights only. Here's the OEM light bar with the factory headlights. And the T-Sportline light bar with factory headlights. Wow. Okay, that's always fun. Let's recap. The T-Sportline 50-inch single-row LED light bar was putting out 4,700 lux, and it was drawing about 250 watts. By comparison, the factory Tesla Cyberbeast light bar was putting out only about 70 or 700 lux and drawing only about 50 watts. So big difference there. And then you saw it off-road, no comparison. The T-Sportline light bar is amazing. Everything we tested today was just the single row 50-inch T-Sportline light bar. T-Sportline's also got a double row. It's only a little bit more output from a lighting perspective, but it gives you that cool look if you want the big extra light bar on there. All right, everybody, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, drop a comment below, let us know what you think about this lighting, and make sure you subscribe to our channel. We've got a lot more Cybertruck upgrades coming your way.